You're listening to Phil DeBella, and this is FlashCast by PDB. Today I'm going to be talking about a book I'm reading, Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. It's a very profound book. I like to read a lot, or more so audiobooks, because I like to listen to it in the gym and in the car, and more of a audio listener rather than a reader. But however, regardless of that, what I love to do when I read, and I'm going to share more of these in my flashcast because I've been asked a lot about it by different people, is that I'm actually going to share my insights when I read something, because I take a different perspective. I read it, I look at it, some things I agree with, some things I don't, but I often put my own interpretation onto things because I find that that's the most important thing. But Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty, can I tell you, very profound. Let me start by saying, things like, statements, we should plant trees for those people's shade we choose not to sit with. How insightful, how in depth. We should plant trees for those people's shade we choose not to sit with. In other words, my interpretation, always want the best for others, but doesn't mean that you need to be sitting with them or hang out with them. They don't need to be in your circle of friends for you to not want the best for them. Another way to look at it is karma. Bringing good karma into your life, which to me has always been about hanging out with people who has the same values that I desire, not the material things that they want. And we see that a lot in life, where people hang out with others because of the materialism of what it brings, nice cars, nice houses, nice holiday places, boats, whatever it is. Whereas for me, I want to hang out with people that share the same values. And Think Like a Monk really cements this. It also cements the concept that we are not what we think, nor are we what others think we are. What we think that others think about us is what normally drives people. However, that's not the case. What the case is that we are actually what we think we are. Meaning, it's all about us, our interpretation of us. Nothing more, nothing less. And the thought of positive thinking, and that's why you've seen these offshoots of other things, is that the offshoots of positive thinking is all about us believing that we are the best versions of ourselves, and we are what we think we are. So to block out the thoughts and processes of what other people want us to be, or who we think they want us to be, more importantly. You are who you think you are. Understand that subconscious tricks us every day, and we need to be very conscious of who we are, and where we want to be. Understand our values, understand who am I, what makes me happy. Learn to constantly audit your life to ensure that you execute your values. And you'll see that a lot of the messages that we're talking about is about values. And the Jay Shetty book, keeps talking about values. We are values-led. We are humans at the end of the day. Humans are driven by values, whether we know it or not, to be conscious about values. When we spend time with people, something to think about. Are they pulling you closer to what you want to be, or further away from who you want to be? So profound. And my take on, the book again. When people, around me are pulling me closer to what I want to be, then I feel at my best. But if they're pulling me further away from what I want to be, then I know that these are not the people that I should be hanging around. Again, think like a monk. We have 3 core emotional needs in life. And I love this part where Jay Shetty talks about peace, love, and understanding. We want to feel at peace with ourselves and others. We want to love ourselves and others, and we need to understand ourselves and others. And the core to this, and my spin on it, is that it's others and ourselves. So Jay Shetty talks about feeling at peace, love, and understanding of others. My interpretation is we need to do this of ourselves. We need to make sure that we are at peace with ourselves, we love ourselves, and we understand ourselves before we can actually be at peace with others, love others, and understand others. Understanding that the negative people in our lives are drainers. They really drain us. How do you understand who negative people are? Well, Jay Shetty talks about complainers, competitors, cancellers, critics, controllers, casualties, and commanders. Very, very powerful. Now, I know there's a lot of information in this flashcast, which goes no longer than 10 minutes, but nothing stopping you to listen to it 2, 3, 4 times or slow it down. But the negative people can be classified into complainers, competitors, cancellers, critics, controllers, casualties, and commanders. These are the type of people that we have to be aware of. Not necessarily eliminate, but definitely limit. Now, some people say eliminate. Well, that's not possible, because even the people we love dearly, the people that are closest to us, sometimes our partners can be complainers, competitors, cancellers, critics, controllers, casualties, and commanders. However, we're not going to eliminate them because of it. What we need to do is we need to limit the interaction. So when somebody close to you is being this, then limit the interaction at that point of time. If somebody's always like this, you need to get them out of your life. We need to make sure that we always are in self-preservation mode, that we are making sure that we are staying as much as possible in positivity, understanding that at times negativity is going to happen, but understand that negativity arises from fear. Most negativity in life comes from a place of fear. So we need to make sure that we limit the negativity around us so that we don't stay in fear mode. Because remember, fear is not something that is really, really positive for us to deal with. Fear, if it's not dealt with correctly, becomes negative because it causes to fly, freeze, or fight. Now, you hear about fly or fight, but there's a third one, and that's freeze, right? Fear causes us to fly or fight, but it also causes us to freeze. All three can be very negative. So we need to make sure that we really tackle the concept of fear. And Jay Shetty explains it very, very well in his book. So some of the other stuff that really comes out for me is lead with intention, right? Understand that you need to lead with intention. So sometimes someone's saying something negative or we're being negative and we go, hang on, where's this coming from? A good checkpoint is to say, what's the intention of this? You know, what is their intention? What is my intention? And it's something that I found myself in the last 6 months before I've even started reading his book, you know, is about, I look at people's intentions. So Jay Shetty's helped me understand the concept of intention. However, I was already doing this, you know, looking at where this person is coming from. What do they mean? You know, so the word intention is hardly ever heard of, but so powerful. Try to understand your intention and understand other people's intentions when things are happening. You know, something else that really, really stood out for me was this concept, and I've shared this with my daughter who's 13 already. I don't want you to focus on being perfect. I want you to focus on being brave. Let me say that again. I don't want you to focus on being perfect. I want you to focus on being brave. Now, at school, they're taught to try and be perfect. Oh, who gets the A grades? Who gets the A grades? But there's no grade for bravery. Yet bravery is the denominator that's going to drive our daughters, our sons, our people, ourselves to be the best versions of ourselves. And I can't harp on this enough. Don't focus on being perfect. Focus on being brave. That goes for yourself as an individual, but that goes for the closest people around you to share that with. Nobody wants perfect. No one expects perfect. But something that's going to drive somebody to be the best versions of themselves is bravery. And we need to make sure that we celebrate bravery. And that's something that I really took away from this book, and something I will be celebrating not only in myself, but especially with my daughter and my 11-year-old son, is not to be hung up on perfection, be hung up on bravery. And I'm going to make sure that I'm conscious in celebrating. And the last piece that I want to share with you, something that we should all be doing, is very hard to do, that the emotion you fall asleep with at night is likely to be the emotion you wake up with in the morning. So make sure that 5 minutes before you go to sleep, hopefully you get to meditate or breathe, but reflect, be grateful. Find a positive emotion to fall asleep with, because that will be the most likely emotion that you'll wake up with in the morning. And that is a powerful start to the day. A powerful start, a productive day. So, Jay Shetty, thank you. Think Like a Monk has been a great book for me to read. I urge everybody to get a hold of it. I'll be doing more of these, let's say, PDB reviews and takes on the concepts of these books so that I can share it with listeners. Until next time, go be the best you can be. And remember that life is measured in moments, never possessions. You've been listening to Phil DeBella, and this is FlashCast by PDB.